army from Angmar marches on the Dunedain capital of Annuminas. You rush to prepare the defences as best you can before the orcs reach the city. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Line Unbroken, my progression-style playthrough series of The Lord of the Rings, the card game. I'm playing the 2016 GenCon / Fellowship event quest, the Siege of Annuminas. So, interesting decision as to whether to mulligan here. I've decided not to in either case, though neither hand is necessarily exactly what I would be looking for. I don't really want Aristor in my opening hand. He is supposed to come into play via Vilya. I would quite like maybe some of the defensive attachments for Elra here. Over here, Elven Light is good, the Mirror of Galadriel is good. To the Sea to the Sea is definitely good. But on the other hand, I have Silver Harp, and I have Imladris Stargazer, and over here I have Vilya, which is the thing. It's kind of, neither hand in isolation is something that I would necessarily keep, but in combination, the fact that I start with Vilya here and the Stargazer here means I think that this should work out pretty well. So, okay, I am playing in standard game mode, of course, not epic multiplayer. That would be rather difficult to figure out in Octagon, though if I can figure it out, I definitely want to do it at some point. So, setup. Arrange the quest cards into 3 separate quest decks, 1A to 3A, 1C to 3C, and 1E to 3E. Remove the 1C to 3C deck and the 1E to 3E deck from the game. Search the encounter deck for Annuminas, add it to the staging area, and set its city strength to 20. Flip this card over and place it next to the quest deck. So Annuminas, I'm just going to put it here, and I'm going to put resources on it to represent the city strength. It recommends that you use a spare threat tracker, but obviously that's not a thing in Octagon. Forced when the players advance to stage 2A, and before resolving its when revealed effect, shuffle each set-aside copy of Dunedain of Annuminas into the encounter deck. Then shuffle X copies of Host of Angmar into the encounter deck, where X is 1 less than the number of players in the game, to a minimum of 1. If a player is eliminated from the game, deal 9 damage to Annuminas. Let's just quickly look at the rules cards here. So, expansion symbol, not important, obviously. Scenario rules can be played in one of 2 modes, standard game mode and epic multiplayer mode. Blah blah blah, epic multiplayer mode, I'm not doing that, so we don't need to know that. Setting up epic multiplayer mode, we don't need to know that. Playing epic multiplayer mode, we don't need to know that. I know about immune to player card effects. City strength is a value that represents the amount of damage the city of Annuminas can take before it is overrun by the enemy. To set the city strength of Annuminas during setup, take a threat tracker, as I said, place it next to Annuminas, set its value to the correct amount, and so on. Anytime Annuminas takes X damage, reduce its city strength by X. If it reaches 0, the players lose the game. And of course we know archery. So there we go. Annuminas. Forced. At the end of the round, deal 1 damage to Annuminas for each enemy at each stage. In this case, of course, I'm playing standard game mode, not epic multiplayer, so there is only 1 stage. So it's just each enemy in play. If the city strength of Annuminas reaches 0, the city is overrun by the forces of Angmar and all teams lose the game. In this case, only 1 team. Quest card setup. Set Lieutenant of Angmar, Battering Ram, Enemy Camp, Siege Tunnel, each copy of Host of Angmar, and each copy Dunedain of Annuminas. They omitted an of there. Each copy Dunedain of Annuminas aside out of play. Each player searches the encounter deck for a different location and adds it to the staging area. One of those locations must be Gate of Annuminas. Shuffle the encounter deck. So, let's go into the encounter deck here and find... Okay, Shores of Lake Nenwial. This is the other location I'm going to be taking, because it's low threat. While it's in the staging area, progress cannot be placed on other locations in the staging area. Travel, raise each player's threat by 2 to travel here. It's not too bad, really. I don't have that much location control in my decks, just 3 copies of the Evening Star. And as I say, it's low threat, so pretty reasonable to start with. And Gate of Annuminas. X threat, where X is 1 more than the number of enemies at this stage. Oh, okay, it says in play, so I'd have to check. I assume it still just means at this stage, and in Epic multiplayer it doesn't scale up with all the enemies at all stages. That would seem a bit much. But yeah, interesting noticing the differences in phrasing in some cases, but not in this one. Travel, each player engages an enemy in the staging area to travel here. So let's flip this over. Many hands hurry to reinforce the gate with heavy timbers and large stones while the enemy draws steadily nearer. Forced at the beginning of the round before the resource phase, place 1 resource here. Then if there are 4 resources here, advance to stage 2. Response, at the end of the round, remove 10 progress from this stage to increase the city strength of Annuminas by 10. So, at the beginning of the round before the resource phase, I place a resource here. There are not 4 resources there, so I do not advance to stage 2. Control N, I begin the game. Okay, I've found some Elven Mail. Here I draw an extra card for Círdan, and I choose to discard the Elven Jeweler, of course. So, okay. I think I definitely want to just get Revelia into play immediately. And leave it at that. Over here, discard Lords of the Eldar to Arwen's ability to add a resource to Galadriel. I suppose actually I can use Galadriel's ability because I'm not planning on playing... Actually, hang on. Can I play Nenya sensibly? Not if I want the Stargazer. So, for all that was my decision making, the reason for my decision to keep these hands, I'm wondering, because I might just want Elrond to quest anyway, so maybe I should just save the resources and get it set up next round. Because then, that way I can immediately play this Silver Harp, of course. In fact, I could play the Silver Harp and then use the Silver Harp with Arwen's ability. So I still have Lords of the Eldar available for a future discard. And then play Nenya. Given the whole thing of wanting progress here to increase the city strength of Annuminas, getting my willpower set up quickly, potentially significant. So, yeah, I think let's leave it at that. This is currently 1 threat, though it may increase. So there's 3 threat in the staging area, and so I can quest for 3, 6, 10, and we reveal Orc of Angmar. And, caught in the press, each player must choose either deal 1 damage to each questing character you control, or each questing character you control gets -1 willpower until the end of the phase. I will take the damage. Should be fine. So I'm still questing for 10. I've added 2, 3 additional threat. So I make 4 progress. If I were to use Nenya immediately, then that could become 8 progress. Or I could just use Galadriel's ability. Both are pretty solid options, but it is certainly tempting to try and really stack up the the city strength of Annuminas. So I'm going to go for that. And now travel to the shores of Lake Nenwial. Each player raises their threat by 2. And now engage this Orc of Angmar. So, archery 1, I will put it on Círdan. And falls when Orc of Angmar attacks, either remove 1 progress from the main quest or it gets +2 defense until the end of the phase. So, I'm going to remove 1 progress. Technically that happens before I declare a defender. Now I defend with Elra here and pay a resource to ready him. Okay, 4 attack, 3 defense. He takes 1 damage. And now I attack for 3, 5. The Orc of Angmar is dead. There are no enemies in play, so I do not deal any damage to Annuminas. I don't have 10 progress to remove, so I can't increase the city strength of Annuminas. I place a resource at the beginning of the round before the resource phase. Control N. Okay, and the extra draw for Círdan is Lindir. I'm going to exhaust the Silver Harp to hold on to both of those. Now I definitely want to the sea in play. I can immediately exhaust it and discard Lords of the Eldar and pay 1 for this Imladris Stargazer, which I will exhaust to have this deck. Look at its top 5 cards and rearrange them. Okay, definitely going to put Gildor to the top. And then I think something like that. Now I have 2 more resources. Naya is a nice card, but since I don't have any action advantage yet, it's not really crucial. Of course, I haven't used Arwen's ability yet either. So I think I just leave it at that for the moment. And now over here, I would like to get a caregiver into play, but it's not top priority. I think I want to get in the Elven Mail right away. And Vilya, of course. And then I exhaust Elrond and Vilya to put Gildor into play. Since he also has 3 willpower, I'm not actually losing any stats on this compared to just questing with Elrond. And that should be fine. So right now there is only 1 threat in the staging area. We quest for 3, 6, 10 again. And reveal caught in the press. Okay, I can still take the damage. But I do need to get my healing going. And Vanguard of Khandoon. Cannot have attachments while it's in the staging area. No more than 5 progress can be placed on the main quest each round. Okay, of course that doesn't count progress on the active location, only on the actual quest. So that's 3, 4 additional threat. So as it stands, I'm making 5 progress, which is not enough to explore the active location. So I'm going to use Nenya again. So I make 9 progress, 6 here, and 3 here. Now, here's an issue. I'm not sure I want to engage the Vanguard yet anyway, but it's a problem that the Gate of Annuminas, travel cost, each player engages an enemy in the staging area to travel here. But that means that you can only travel there if there are at least... Well, I'm playing 2-player. I can only travel here if there are at least 2 enemies in the staging area, because each player has to engage one. So there's potential for you to just get stuck if you just keep engaging and killing the enemies. So, yeah, can I do anything about this Vanguard? Only 3 defense. I don't have a feint or enough attack to kill it. I think I just have to leave it there for the moment. So, at the end of the round, there is 1 enemy in play, so I reduce the city strength of Annuminas by 1, and I can remove 10 progress from here to increase the city strength of Annuminas by 10. And I place another resource here at the beginning of the round before the resource phase. Control N. Oh, I didn't use Arwen's ability, and I did want to. This is not in my hand yet. So I'm just going to say discard an Elven Jeweler and add the resource to Elrond. Okay, now in the new round. Okay, so for Círdan I discard to the sea, since it's already in play. Now, yeah, I really need to start getting my healing going. I will use the Stargazer here. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if I'm going to Villiers, I want the Warden of the Havens. Otherwise, I would like to draw Captain's Wisdom. So maybe I set it up like this. And yeah, I really need a healer, so yeah, I think I'm just going to sacrifice this other Elven Jeweler, because it goes to the sea, exhaust to the sea, and discard X cards from your hand to reduce the cost of the next Noldor ally played this phase by X to a minimum of 1. Played this phase, not that you play this phase. So it can apply cross table, so this deck uses to the sea to reduce the cost of this Imladris Caregiver. And I can also play this Lembas. I think I'm going to play it here. Since Círdan has 3 damage on him, it makes sense. Okay, now Mirror of Galadriel. This is why I've been saving up the use of that silver harp. Look at the top 10 cards. Okay. So, Light of Valinor, Elven Light, another Silver Harp, Test of Will. All of these are cards which would be really useful to have. But I don't know. Let's think about this. So, Silver Harp and Elven Light both really help this deck to run properly, funding all the discard effects. Those really are the biggest things. Test of Will is maybe the safest option, but I can take most treacheries. Though maybe not all. Yeah, maybe I should just take the Test of Will and be safe. I will still have the mirror next round. Of course, also I haven't used Arwen's ability yet, and okay, I'm going to risk not taking the Test of Will. I take the Elven Light and use the Silver Harp. And then I discard Elven Light to Arwen's ability. And this deck still really doesn't need the resources unless I want to immediately play Lindir for full cost. Which is an option. But equally, I could send the resource over to Eladan or Elrond. So yeah, under the circumstances I'm going to put it on Eladan, because I do have some more tactics cards that I might want to play. Now I'm going to pay 2 for Naya on Círdan, and then 1 to pull Elven Light back to my hand and draw a Sailor of Loon. I did shuffle. Yes, I did shuffle after using the mirror. So, do I want to Vilya in that Warden of the Havens? Is now an important question. Okay, so the threat in the staging area is currently 5. I'm definitely questing for 3, 4, 7, 11. I could make it 15 with Elrond 18. I can use Revealed in Wrath if I want to blank the text box of the Vanguard of Khan Doom and allow me to make more than 5 progress. But I could at most be questing for 18. So I would only make 10 progress if I revealed 3 threat or less. So I think I probably just figure I'm not going to increase the city strength again. I've never managed playing this quest to increase the city strength of Annuminas with this effect more than once. That's fine. So I Vilya the Warden of the Havens. And I'm questing for, what was it, 11? 3, 4, 7, 11. And I discard this Lembas to ready Círdan and heal 3 damage from him, which means I can use Naya later on. And we reveal Arnor battlefield. And a Warg of Khandoom, which surges into another Warg of Khandoom, which surges into a savage werewolf. Okay, this is problematic. But okay, so that's added 5, 8, 11 additional threat. So now you definitely see my issue with the Gate of Annuminas, because if I could have traveled to it last round, obviously I would have done, and now I wouldn't have this problem with the threat. But essentially, you can only travel to it once it's become a problem. So yes, using Nenya. And I lose the quest by 1. Okay, so I can now travel to the Gate of Annuminas. Though this really isn't ideal with these Wargs of Khandoom hanging around. Because they're going to make me exhaust characters, and the action window in the travel phase, as I recall, is after your opportunity to travel. So I get the chance to travel because I could use Revealed in Wrath to blank the Warg's text boxes, so then they wouldn't force me to exhaust characters. But I can't do that if I'm engaging them by travelling to the Gate of Annuminas, which I really want to do because it's 5 threat right now. And I mean, I don't think this deck could cope with engaging anything other than a Warg. Even a Warg would be a bit of a problem. So maybe I just travel to the Arnor battlefield. Each player deals 1 damage to a hero he controls to travel here. Yeah, okay, so travel to the Arnor battlefield. I deal the damage to Galadriel, and I guess I want to heal Elra here anyway, so do him, and now regular engagement. I can use Revealed in Wrath if I want to not exhaust characters. And this is really problematic. The double Warg. If I'd just had 1 Warg and the werewolf, I could deal with that. The fact that there are 2 of them makes it a problem, because if I engage one of the tougher enemies, then one of the Wargs will end up here, and I don't want it to end up here. But I guess I could... okay, so I'm going to play Revealed in Wrath. Choose a non-unique enemy until the end of the phase. Treat the chosen enemy's printed text box as if it were blank, except for traits. So this warg is blank. I optionally engage the Savage Werewolf. This warg engages me automatically. I exhaust the Warden of the Havens. This warg engages here. Its text box is blank, so it doesn't have a forced effect, so I don't have to exhaust Círdan. Now we deal shadow cards. Now I can exhaust Círdan and Naya to ready the Warden and Gildor. The Warden, I think, is going to defend the Savage Werewolf. If this attack destroys a character, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. But, okay, so the Warden has had his defense increased by 1 by Naya. So he's currently 2 defense. Now I'm going to discard this Rivendell Bow to the Imladra's Caregiver to heal... Actually, I'm going to heal Arwen first. Now the top card of my discard pile is an attachment, so the Warden of the Havens has +2 defense, and Sentinel, though that part's not relevant right now. So he's 4 defense against 5 attack, and he takes 1 damage. Now Elra here will defend against this warg and ready. Attacking enemy makes an additional attack against you after this one. Okay. Elra here will defend that as well. Okay. Let me think about how much I need to kill things. So it takes 7 to bring down a werewolf. I can't do anything about this warg because I don't have the ranged. Yeah, okay. I take this undefended. Alright. In retrospect, maybe I should have taken the additional attack here undefended and had Elra here Sentinel this warg, but never mind. Okay, Eladan attacks for 3 and pays a resource to ready himself. He kills this warg. And then 3, 6, 8 kills the werewolf. I still have problems, but they're a bit less. There are 2 enemies in play, so 2 damage to Annuminas. Oh, I should, before the end of the combat phase, I should discard something to the Caregiver to heal again. Revealed in Wrath could be really useful. I think that I'll get my healing under control without needing a second Caregiver. And I have them in both decks, so plenty of scope for it. Yes, so damage to Annuminas. Obviously I don't have the progress to remove from here. But I place a resource here at the beginning of the round, before the resource phase. And there are now 4 resources here, so I advance to stage 2. According to the rules card here, when the player's advanced to stage 2A and before resolving its when revealed effect, shuffle each set-aside Dunedain of Annuminas into the encounter deck and X copies of a Host of Angmar, where X is 1 less than the number of players in the game to a minimum of 1. So, 3 Dunedain of Annuminas, 1 Host of Angmar. And the when revealed is going to shuffle the discard pile into the encounter deck, so I'm not going to bother shuffling yet. You've prepared the defences as best you could, but the enemy has broken through in several places. It's up to you to protect the people inside the city. When revealed, shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck and discard cards from the top until X enemies are discarded. X is 1 less than the number of players at this stage, to a minimum of 1. Add each enemy discarded in this way to the staging area. So, shuffle into encounter deck. And, okay, Warden of Doom. Could be much worse. This stage gets minus 10 quest points for each host of Angmar in a victory display. Forced after the players have committed characters to the quest, the highest attack enemy in the staging area makes an attack against each player in turn order. If no attacks are made in this way, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. Response at the end of the round, choose a stage. Each player at that stage heals 1 damage from a character he controls. So, I'm gonna have an issue with this Vanguard of Khan Doom attacking me. But I'm just gonna have to find ways to deal with it. Control N. So here, my extra draw for Círdan is Nenya. Obviously, I could discard either of those happily. Let's discard Glorfindel first. Exhaust the Stargazer. Oh, you know what? I knew I had Lembas coming up. So I'm actually going to allow myself a retcon, not heal Elra here, and just leave it as it is. Now, yeah, honestly, I'm thinking I may just... Oh, this is a tricky situation I find myself in. No, I think I do want to Villia this Warden of the Havens, and then I do possibly want to draw the Lembas. Yeah, so let's just swap those around. And now this Captain's Wisdom. If I were okay with using Galadriel's ability to have this deck draw that Lembas, then I could happily exhaust Elra here with Captain's Wisdom and then attach the Lembas to him so I can ready him if need be. I think I definitely do want that Warden of the Havens in play. So the flip side is, of course, I really might want the use of Nenya. Let's also exhaust the Mirror of Galadriel right now. Take one of these top 10 cards. Okay. So once again, of course, Elven Light is great. Oh, no, I've already got Elven Light, so that's not an issue. I didn't discard Elven Light last round. I didn't use Arwen's ability last round, did I? Because I was holding on to it because I wasn't sure where I might want the resource. I'm pretty certain that did happen, so... Or did I discard Elven Light and then pull it back to my hand? Is that what happened? Okay, let's just leave it. I don't want to retcon something incorrectly. So, yeah, I could get another Silver Harp for more discard power. Test of Will is, as usual, the safe option. Unexpected Courage could be really useful right now. So, I mean, how resources do I have? 4. Potentially +1 from Arwen. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Unexpected Courage. So shuffle and exhaust the harp. Okay, so current threat in the staging area. This is 4. There's currently 8 threat in the staging area. So I really think that I might need Nenya, so I don't think I can afford to use Galadriel's ability, which means I'm more reluctant to use the Captain's Wisdom, but I can just save it up and use it next round when I do have the Lembas, having just drawn it naturally. So let's call that a plan. This deck doesn't really need to be playing. Oh yeah, because I played Revealed in Wrath. Okay, yeah, so this deck doesn't need to play an LotR ally, so I can definitely go to the Siege of the Sea for this deck, discarding Nenya first, and paying 1 for this Sailor of Loon. I'm making sure to discard Nenya first, because then I can discard Elven Light for Arwen's ability, and it will be the top card of my discard pile, thus activating the ability of the Sailor of Loon. I also want to play that Unexpected Courage. Now, do I put the Unexpected Courage onto Círdan so that he can quest and use Naya, or onto Elrond so he can still quest even having used Vilya? And I'm actually leaning towards Círdan at this point. Of course, I do have 2 more copies of Unexpected Courage. Elrond will get one sooner or later. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on Círdan. I'm going to discard Elven Light to add a resource to Galadriel, and then I'm going to pay 1 immediately to pull it back to my hand and draw a card. Imladris Stargazer was not what I was looking for, but I figured I'd take the chance that I might find a test of will by doing that. So yes, as mentioned, I'm saving up for Captain's Wisdom. Revealed in Wrath is still potentially an option. Okay. Questing. 3, 7. Does not exhaust because of Galadriel. And, oh no, wait, hang on. No, I can't do that because I need the top card of my discard pile to be an event. So, just disregard that. Yeah. And he's 2 willpower because the top card of my discard pile is an event. So, yes, 3, 7, 9, 10, 13. Not ideal, but we're going to work with it. And After the players have committed characters to the quest, the highest attack enemy in the staging area makes an attack against each player in turn order. If no attacks are made in this way, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. The highest attack enemy in the staging area is, of course, the Vanguard of Khand Dûm. So, I will defend with the Sailor of Lune, since he's still ready, thanks to Galadriel. And he is committed to the quest, and the top card of my discard pile is an event, so he cannot be damaged. Exhaust a character you control. That's... awkward. I guess I'm gonna just hope that things work out in terms of the questing. As I said, the Sailor of Lune cannot take damage, so he's fine. And now I'm going to exhaust Círdan and Naya. This is why I gave him the unexpected courage. And no, wait, the Sailor of Lune isn't Sentinel. That doesn't work. With that in mind, yeah, I wasn't thinking straight. I put the unexpected courage on Elrond, so I'm questing for 3 more. So, yeah, because of course I was thinking I could just have the Sailor of Lune defend both attacks, and he can't take damage from either of them, but he's not a Sentinel. I would need to put an Elven Mail on him, which, given that this is a strategy I can employ, I could consider putting an Elven Mail on a Sailor of Lune. But without the Elven Mail, obviously it doesn't work. So, I need a different defender. And actually, okay, let's just pull this back. Since I'm not pulling Elven Light back to my hand, I didn't need to add the resource to Galadriel, so Arwen's resource could have gone on Elrahir. Let's go with that. And now Elrahir defends and readies himself. Defender gets -2 defense until the end of the round. So, okay, so that's 6 attack against 1 defense. So with that in mind, I'm going to discard this Caregiver to heal Elrahir 2, and he takes 5 damage. So this is a problem. But okay, we're questing for 16 against 8. Reveal another Gate of Annuminas. And Shoals of Lake Notenmeal. At least no more enemies. So that's 6 threat added. I make 2 progress. Do not clear the active location. So I can't travel to a Gate of Annuminas to engage these enemies. I just have to deal with them normally. Under the circumstances, I think I still just leave the Vanguard of Khand Dûm where it is. Well, apart from anything else, I still can't kill it. Takes 11 attack. Yeah, I'm going to have to prepare for that a bit more, so just engage the Warden of Khand Dûm, exhausting the damaged warrior of the Havens. I'll deal out some shadow cards. Okay, undefended. Either remove 2 progress from the main quest or return attacking enemy to the staging area after this attack. Okay. Put the 2 damage on Galadriel and obviously return it to the staging area. Warden of the Havens will defend this. Discard an attachment you control. Oh, I was going to say it's going to have to be the Elven Male, but it can't be the Elven Male, because Elrahir would die if I discarded the Elven Male. So it's going to have to be the Unexpected Courage. So that's really frustrating. And then I can exhaust Círdan and Naya to ready the Warden, so he's now up to 2 defense, and actually no, make it the Stargazer. So I can just make sure this is set up as I want it. So that Elven Male definitely could be a good Vilya target. I think that's fine. Follow up with Warden of the Havens. And of course I can easily kill this warg. There are 2 enemies in play at the end of the round. Also at the end of the round, choose a stage. This is the only stage because I'm not playing Epic Multiplayer. Each player at that stage heals 1 damage from a character he controls. And of course, Elrond means that will end up being 2 damage. So I'm going to do 2 from Círdan. And since I'm going to Lembas Elrahir, I'm not sure if I want... no, it should still be him. He's the only one with more than 1 damage, so... Okay. Control N. And there we go. The extra draw for Círdan is Unexpected Courage. I discard the Stargazer. And now this time in the resource phase I will play Captain's Wisdom, exhausting Elrahir and adding 2 resources to him. Let's use the mirror. Let's see, what are my options? Okay, so out of this lot, I think I really do have to grab a Test of Will at this point. My position is somewhat precarious, and so I really need to make sure I'm prepared for bad things to happen. So, let's Vilya this Elven Male. Now, of course, I was talking about Elven Male on Sailor of Loon, but of course, him not exhausting to quest was just on the round he entered play because of Galadriel. So at this point, while I can nigh him after he comes to the quest and have him defend against the Vanguard of Khand Dûm, and that is a pretty reasonable idea, he can only defend 1 attack. If I had a second Sailor of Loon, then I could put Elven Male on one of them, and that would be a permanent solution to this forced effect, which I would consider. But under the circumstances, instead, I'm going to put this Elven Male onto a Warden of the Havens. So the Warden of the Havens will always be Sentinel and has 5 hit points. And of course I put this Lembas onto Elra here. I think that's it for this deck. I could actually play Eristor. What am I going to play over here? Am I actually going to play Lindir at this point? It's plausible, actually. The extra willpower would certainly come in handy. Of course, the extra willpower from Eristor would also come in handy. Let's pull Elven Light back to my hand, draw a card. Yeah, okay, I think I'm going to play Lindir. Which means, I mean, I could still afford Eristor. And I'd still have 1 resource left on Elra here, but there's the possibility of multiple defenses from Elra here, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now I need to play this Unexpected Courage. And okay, actually this is problematic. So this time I think I do want to put it on Círdan. Oh, hang on, yeah. Círdan should have been exhausted from questing last round, and thus unable to use Naya in the combat phase, so there should be 1 damage on this Warden of the Havens. Right. So now, yeah, I think I do kind of have to put it on Círdan. Yeah. Now, exhaust to the Seat of the Sea, discard the Mirror of Galadriel and Elven Light, and pay 1 for Lindir. After you enter play, if you have less than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. So I draw 2 more cards. Oh, no, wait, hang on. I've messed this up. I haven't used Arwen's ability yet, which I needed to do. So hang on. If I pull Elven Light back to my hand, and then... No, this doesn't... Hang on. This doesn't work. So with that in mind, okay, I could have used to the Seat of the Sea in advance. Discarding the Mirror and Elven Light to allow this deck to pay 2 for Eristor. Then paid 1 to pull Elven Light back to my hand and draw a card, and then discarded Elven Light to Arwen's ability to add a resource to Galadriel, and everything is fine. Okay. Well, I mean, it's fine in relative terms. So, questing. 1, 4, 6, 9, 13... 15. This deck is attacked first. So the Warden of the Havens will defend. If this attack destroys a character, okay. So Naya. And I discard this Lembas to ready Elra here and heal him. Now the top card of my discard pile is an attachment, so combined with Naya, the Warden of the Havens is at 4 defense. And takes 2 damage. Which is fine, because the Elven Male gives him 2 more hit points. And here, of course, we have the Sailor of Loon, who cannot take damage. Ready the defending character and give it +2 defense for this attack. Okay, the defense doesn't matter, but... well, I guess the other bit doesn't matter either. But it's fine. Okay. So, there is 1, 3, 6... 12 threat in the staging area. What am I even questing for? 3, 5, 6, 9, 13, 15. That's probably not enough. We reveal City Wall. And an Orc of Angmar, which is 2, 3, 4 threat, effectively. So 7 threat added to the staging area. 19, I use Nenya and break even. Nothing else I can do about it. Okay. So I can't travel once again. I really need to deal with these enemies. This deck is first player, so I think I just take these. Oh man, hang on. Yeah, I can probably take the exhaust, I think. Yeah, let's exhaust the damaged, well, the more damaged Warden of the Havens. Let me deal out shadow cards. Archery 1. So let's put that on to Gildor. Actually, no, let's put it onto Elrond. And now I play Revealed in Wrath to blank this forced effect, so the Orc of Angmar will not gain additional defense. Elra here defends. Exhaust a character you control. And he takes 1 damage from the attack. And he defends again. Nothing. Eladan can kill the Warg by himself. And since I blanked its text box and it didn't get more defense, the Orc of Angmar they can do together. I guess I will use the Stargazer for this deck. Okay. Several of these things would be useful. But since I already have a Test of Will in hand, let's set it up like that. Okay, there's only 1 enemy in play at the end of the round, and I get to heal at the end of the round. I am going to heal this one of the Havens and obviously Galadriel. So, Control N. And Vilya. Thought so. Last Warden of the Havens. And over here, extra draw for Círdan. Obviously, I discard the Elven Light. Then Mirror. Yeah, I guess beyond the top two it didn't matter because of the Mirror, but that's fine. Light of Valinor. Light of Valinor would be good. Extra willpower. As much as I might like Fair and Perilous. So shuffle and harp. Okay. So Light of Valinor goes on to Elra here. City Wall. Forced at the end of the round, place one resource on City Wall. Then if there are 3 resources here, discard City Wall to deal 4 damage to Annuminas and reveal an encounter card. Travel, reveal the top card of the encounter deck to travel here. So there should be a resource here. Okay, yeah, I really want to get that additional harp into play, so you know, there are what is going on there? Okay, yeah, there are things that I could do which would be good in the short term. Specifically, I could play. I've got Lords of the Eldar in my discard pile, so I could play it. And playing Lords of the Eldar, those big stat boosts would help me quest, and also probably help me kill the Vanguard of Khan Doom finally. But in the long run, if I can still just keep holding off the Vanguard, in the long run, having this extra harp will be useful. Don't have any Noldor allies over here, so if I want to use to the sea, it has to be on this side. But also, I'm a bit short on resources. So, and I have to keep one for a test of will, so I guess I pay 1 to pull Elven Light back to my hand and draw a card and then discard it. Well, actually, there was an Elven Light on top of my deck already, so I use the Silver Harp, so the Elven Light is ready to be discarded later. And over here, of course, I need to play this Lembas onto Elrahir. Elrahir gets all of the Lembas. Okay. Now, these are currently only 1 threat each. So 1, 2, 5, 7, 10 threat in the staging area. Quest for 2, 3, 6, 8, 11, 15, 17. And we get these automatic attacks. So let's Naya. And have the Sailor of Loon defend. Can't take damage, so he's fine. This one. Actually, Elra here will defend and not ready with his ability. Oh. Okay, I figured I can just use the Lembus to ready him after he's taken the damage. Never mind. So, okay, 6 attack, 3 defense, he takes 3 damage. And he cannot ready for the rest of the round. Okay, and we reveal Weary Warriors. Each player deals 1 damage to a hero he controls. If that hero is questing, remove it from the quest until the end of the round. Treat each damaged character's text box as if it were blank, except for traits. I might actually be able to take that. Because I'll just miss out on potentially using Galadriel's ability. So yeah, save my test of will. Hills of Evendim. While it's in the staging area, when revealed effects cannot be cancelled. I'll shuffle the discard pile into the deck and discard cards until the end. Until an enemy is discarded, add the discarded enemy to the staging area to travel here. Okay, so that's 4 threat added. I make 3 progress. Since I can't use Galadriel's ability because her text box is blank, I may as well use Nenya. So 7 progress. So I actually get 6 on the quest. That's great. I finally have quest progress. Of course, I cannot travel to the Gate of Annuminas. Now, yeah, this is a problematic situation I find myself in. So I could travel to the city wall, which would require me to reveal an encounter card. But actually, no, I think I probably want to just leave this city wall to eventually be discarded by its own forced effect, because that will just remove its threat from the staging area. True, it reveals an encounter card to replace itself, but it reveals an encounter card when I travel to it as well. And I have city strength to spare on Annuminas. So with that in mind, Hills of Evendim. Or Shores of Lake Nenwiel. Hills of Evendim is probably safer. So let's go there. It will get me an enemy, but hopefully I can deal with that enemy. Of course, I don't think we've seen the Host of Angmar yet, so shuffling the discard pile back in theory, decreases the chances of me seeing the Host of Angmar. At least for a while. Right. I'm a Wild Rider, Archery 1, and after it engages me, either remove 2 progress or it makes an immediate attack. Okay. So, still not ready for the Vanguard. But, you know, I'm getting there. So after it engages me, I'm gonna have to remove the progress, I think. Archery 1. I think I put the archery one on this Warden of the Havens. Now, obviously, now the question is, who do I defend with? It takes 6 attack to kill one of these, so obviously I need Eladan for that. If I think it's possible I could get +2 attack, which would kill this Warden of the Havens. Just +1 attack would kill this one. +2 attack would also kill Gildor. I think I just risk this Warden. If the attack destroys a character, it does not. 3 attack, 1 defense. Just 2 damage. And now attack for 3, 5, 6. And kill it. And now let's stargaze. Okay, I would definitely like to draw Daeron's runes. And that Master of the Forge will be very welcome. No, let's put it like that. Okay. So at the end of the round, a resource goes on the city wall. City strength of Annuminas is reduced by 1. And I get to heal. So obviously this deck heals Galadriel, the only damage it has. And then I think I think I heal one of my Wardens. Elrond can actually wait. Okay. And Control N. And of course, because of that shadow effect, Elrahir doesn't ready in the refresh phase because it said he couldn't ready for the rest of the round. But that's going to be fine. So let's use this Daeron's runes. And of course I'm going to discard the Evening Star because I want to get at least 1 copy of it in the discard pile before I use it. Okay, well, either of these can be expendable. Let's discard the mirror to Círdan. And then let's use the mirror. Search the top 10 cards. Okay, I think... yeah, Light of Arnor is in play. So, Unexpected Courage or Fair and Perilous. Let's go Unexpected Courage. Shuffle and hop. Okay. So here I'm definitely going to... actually, do I... No, I'm not even going to play the Elven Spear. I do kind of want the Elven Spear on Eladan, but only if I have things to discard to it. At the moment, it might be more useful to keep this Elven Spear to be discarded to an Imladris Caregiver or Erestor. So what I will do is exhaust Elrond and Vilya to get this Master of the Forge, finally. And exhaust him. Okay. So, Rivendell Blade, that is a weapon that is immediately useful. And also, I discard Lembas to ready Elrahir and heal him for 3+1 from Elrond, so he's fully healed. Did I remember to shuffle? Yes, I did remember to shuffle my deck after using the Master of the Forge. Okay. So, willpower would be good. I could get that other caregiver into play. And obviously this deck has more scope for discarding things, so that would make sense. I do think I want to at least retain the option of Lords of the Eldar this round. So, yeah, not Lindir. Cedar of Loon is one more willpower, but I think I'd rather just get the caregiver. So, to the sea. Discard Nenya and pay 1 for an Imladris caregiver. Now, okay, yeah, do I keep my options open regarding potential Lords of the Eldar? Or do I get this Unexpected Courage immediately into play? Either way, I suppose I'm discarding a card to Arwen to add a resource to Galadriel. But then, so Lords of the Eldar would probably allow me to kill the Vanguard of Khandoum. It requires 11. I mean, Elladan is since it has more than one defense. Elladan is effectively 5 for these purposes. So 5, 7. I mean, if I don't quest with everyone, or if I have Naya available for the combat phase, then that's already a thing. But Lords of the Eldar would certainly simplify matters. Allow me to get this under control. But again, long-term Unexpected Courage, just ready up Elrond. I think I'm gonna have the Lords of the Eldar option. Discard Elven Light to Caregiver. And heal Elrond. Warden of the Havens. Yeah, I will heal Elrond this time. Oh, hang on. No, it's fine. So, Last round, I had the Treachery, which blanked the text boxes of damaged characters. But, so that was put into play as a passive effect, or a constant effect. I don't remember the exact relevant wording, but the point is, there's the standard sequence. Passive goes before forced, goes before response. That includes effects expiring. So, passive until the end of the round expires before a response triggered by the end of the round. So, the passive blanking text boxes expired before the response. So at the time the response triggered at the end of the round, Elrond's text box was not blank. So, anyway. 7-10 threat in the staging area. And yeah, I'm just going to do Lord of the Eldar now. So, Lords of the Eldar can only be played from your discard pile. Place it on the bottom of your deck. From your discarded pile, then, until the end of the round, all Noldor characters get +1 willpower, attack, and defense. So, this goes to the bottom of my deck. So, I'm questing for 3, 7, 10, 12, 16, 21, 24, 26. And now this Vanguard of Khan Doom attacks. So let's defend with this Warden of the Havens. Either remove 2 progress from the main quest or return it to the staging area after this attack. I guess since it's already in the staging area, I have to remove the progress. Now, the Warden of the Havens, with his ability active and Lords of the Eldar, is defending for 4. I'm going to use Círdan and Naya, as usual. Ready him up, and also the Sailor of Lune. So he's now defending for 5 and takes only 1 damage. And then the Sailor of Lune defends this one, and as usual, cannot take damage. I suppose in theory, this could actually go wrong for me if I get the shadow effect to discard an attachment I control, because then the top card of my discard pile would be an attachment. Although, in a pinch, I could pull Elven Light back to my hand and discard it to a Caregiver again. It would mean I wouldn't have a Test of Will available, which would be potentially risky, but it's an option. So, questing for 26. Savage Werewolf. Warg of Khan Doom, which surges into Sorcery of Khan Doom. Doomed 1. Each player must choose either discard the highest cost attachment you control or assign X damage among characters you control, where X is the number of attachments you control. I'm going to cancel that, because that would be quite a bit of damage. I mean, I guess I could heal it off over time, but I'd rather just cancel it. So 4 more on the Gates of Annuminas. From the extra enemies, plus their own threat, which is also 4. So there's now 18 threat in the staging area, I believe. 4, 8, 11, 13, 16. That I'm counting 20. 4, 8, 11, 13, 16, 19, 20. I'm not sure where my maths went wrong, but I count 20. So, okay. I make 6 progress. I think that's fine. I can not use Nenya for once. And I can use Galadriel's ability. Now, this deck is kind of high on threat. Okay, so let's travel to the Gate of Annuminas finally. One of the Gates of Annuminas. And we'll engage the Vanguard of Karndum here, and the Warg of Karndum here. I will not remove progress, I will exhaust the Imladris Stargazer. And then in the encounter phase, engage the Savage Werewolf. And yeah, I think I'm just going to Galadriel this deck, since it's higher threat. Another Master of the Forge, probably not that useful to me, but never mind. Deal out shadow cards. We do not have any archery. So, Elra here is 4 defense right now. So are the Wardens of the Havens. But they don't have innate readying. And they can contribute their attack power. So it's probably better if I can defend things with Elra here. So let's go Vanguard of Karndum. If the attack destroys the character, it's 2 damage. That's fine. Savage Werewolf. 1 damage. And, okay, I'm just assuming that I need all of my attack to kill the things in front of me, so... Yep, no damage from that. So, Eladan is effectively 5. So, 5, 7 takes out the werewolf. And then 5, 8, 10, 12 takes out the Vanguard. I can't do anything about the Warg because it's on the wrong side of the table, and also I've run out of attackers. But that's fine. I could discard things to heal, but I think I would rather save them up for future occasions. There is 1 enemy in play. And of course the city wall. I add a resource. There are 3 resources, so I discard city wall to deal 4 damage to Annuminas and reveal an encounter card. So, down to 18 city strength, and I reveal an encounter card, which is an Orc of Angmar. And I get to heal at the end of the round. So I'm going to do this Warden of the Havens, and there's no damage on this side of the table. So, Control N. Things are looking pretty reasonable at this point. Okay, extra draw for Círdan is also fair and perilous. Let's hold on to it. Now, Imladris Stargazer. Set up my Villier. Okay, obviously I'm not going to Villier Captain's Wisdom. I wouldn't mind drawing that Cloak of Lorien. Honestly, I might even just Villier the Cloak of Lorien. Although, no, wait, I have a Master of the Forge. I can Master of the Forge the Cloak of Lorien. I could just Villier the Master of the Forge, because honestly, I don't feel like I need the extra healer. And the events aren't really so worth it. So, sure, I'm going to Villier a Master of the Forge. Wrong deck. Master of the Forge. And then I'm just going to use both Masters of the Forge. Grab this Cloak of Lorien. Maybe I should have used the Master of the Forge that I already had before using the Stargazer. Grab both Cloaks of Lorien. Over here. Okay, so I definitely want to put Unexpected Courage back onto Elrond. He has some useful stats. I would like to use them. Then let's see. I can use Arwen's ability to add a resource to Galadriel. Probably never going to manage Lindir. Oh no, wait, I don't want to use a harp for that. So yeah, okay, let's use the mirror. Search the top 10 cards. Let's see. Okay, that greeting could be very useful given my high threats, but what I really want is a test of will. And shuffle. Exhaust the harp for that. And then okay, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to say exhaust Silver Harp. I'm just going to discard Lindir because I'm drawing too many cards to ever use his ability. Play this Sailor of Loon, and then discard Fair and Perilous for Arwen's ability to add a resource to Galadriel. So, 2, 4... Oh no, sorry, there are 2 enemies in play. 3, 5, 7 threat in the staging area. No Lords of the Eldar this time round, but I shouldn't need it this time round. 2, 3, 6, 9, 11. Oh, I forgot about this deck's planning, which, crucially, I want to put Arundel Bow onto Eladan, and Cloaks of Lorien. There are no forest locations in this quest. It's more a thematic choice. I'm just going to rearrange these attachments, actually. Put Elven Mail at the top. So Cloak of Lorien here, and Cloak of Lorien here, because of course it's Noldor or Sylvan character. as with Elven Mail. Character, not hero, so I can power up my Wardens of the Havens. So, right, yes, questing. 2, 5, 8, 10, 11, 14, 18, 20, 22, 23. Okay. Seems reasonable. How many Lembas have I used? Just out of curiosity. Okay, I've lost all my Lembas, so I should not be holding off on healing Elra here. That's why I healed the Warden of the Havens last round with the quest card effect, because I figured if I get another Lembas, I can heal more of Elra here in one go, but okay, it's fine though. So, right, and I lost count of my willpower again. 2, 5, 8, 10, 11, 14, 18, 20, 22, 23. Right. Do I need all of that? I could hold back Elrond. It's a definite option. Just go for 20 and have that bit more combat power available just in case. Because I do also have Naya, which gets me a bit of extra combat power. I think it'll. Well, yeah, just to be sure. It may slow down my progressing through the quest, but it's safer. I'm thinking basically just in case a host of Angmar turns up. Unless it's in the discard pile. There is only one in the encounter deck. It is not already in the discard pile, so I think I do want to be moderately prepared for it. Okay, so questing for 20 and immediate attacks. Of course, once again, I have a Sailor of Lune who did not exhaust to commit to the quest because of Galadriel. Exhaust a character you control. Well, that's going to have to be Galadriel. And over here, I will use my powered up Warden of the Havens. Top card of my discard pile is Lembas. Ready the defending character and give it +2 defense for this attack. Okay. So actually defending for 6 then. Takes no damage. Now questing for 20 against 7. We reveal Weary Warriors. Okay, 1 damage to a hero controls. If that hero is questing, remove it from the quest. Till the end of the round, each damage character's text box is blank. I think I can still take it. It means that Elra here is blank, which is unfortunate. Maybe just in case I want to reactivate Elrond's ability, put it on Eladan instead. And since Galadriel's already exhausted, that's fine. Did not damage questing heroes, so that's fine. Walgocon Doom, which surges into a city wall. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5 extra threat. Yes, 4, 6. I make 8 progress, 5 on the Gate of Annuminas, and 3 on the quest. And since it's possible for me to travel to the Gate of Annuminas, I'm going to do it. Engaging this Orc of Angmar and this Warg of Khan Doom. For the Warg of Khan Doom, I will remove a progress because I want Naya available. Deal shadow cards. Okay, so Elrahir's text box is blank. That's relevant. So is this Warden of the Havens. So this Warden of the Havens is not a lot of use right now. This Warden of the Havens is fine and can defend this. Defender cannot ready this round. Not that big a deal. Let's see. Oh yeah, Archery 1 also. So I'll put that on Galadriel. So... Yeah, okay. I'm going to take this undefended. Okay, 2 damage, which I put on Círdan. And now this Warden of the Havens will defend this attack. Ready to the defending character, give it +2 defense for this attack. Okay, that makes all my considerations somewhat moot, I think, but obviously I didn't know that was coming. I used Naya to ready these 2 Sailors of Lune. They're now 2 attack each, and between them can take out a Warg of Khan Doom. Eladan is ranged and can take out the other Warg of Khan Doom. Oh, when this guy attacked, I remove a progress so he doesn't get extra defense, because then I attack for 2, 4, 5. And there are no enemies in play. So, okay, at the end of the round. As I mentioned before, of course, Elrond's text box comes back before the response goes off. So that's fine. So I heal 2 from Elrahir. There's 2 from Círdan. There's a city wall in play, it gets a resource. Annuminas does not take any damage. Control N. There we go. Computer catches up eventually. Extra draw for Círdan. Oh, Lords of the Eldar. I'll definitely discard that. Now, back to this side of the table. Exhausting my Masters of the Forge. Let's grab... Well, no, I already have an Elven Spear in hand. I might play the last Cloak of Lorien. Actually, I probably won't. And the second one actually doesn't find any attachments. Okay. Then I exhaust the Imladris Stargazer. Okay, that's what I was really looking for. Gildor's Council, though Mithlond Sea Watcher would also be welcome. So, let's set it up like this. So next round I'll draw a Feint, and I can just Vilya the Sea Watcher. But right now I want to Vilya Gildor's Council when it gets to that point. Okay, and then I don't think I'm playing anything else. keeping the rest of these as potential discards for healing. Or, no, actually, no, I play the Elven Spear onto Eladan and then keep the rest. Because, of course, I could discard them for healing, or I could discard them for attack power. Over here, well, not a lot going on here. Obviously I want to keep that fair and perilous. Exhaust the mirror. I could just grab my threat reduction at this point, or the last silver harp. I'm going to grab the last silver harp. And exhaust that harp. Play this harp onto Galadriel. That is not what I hit page down on. There we go. Okay. So yeah, let's pull Elven Light back to my hand. Draw a card. Another test of will. Let's see. Yeah, and then I guess I'll just discard Elven Light again for Arwen. Oh no, hang on. Lords of the Eldar is the top card of my discard pile. I can use the Silver Harp for Arwen's ability and save Elven Light for later discarding. Because that's the thing. Just a general strategy point. With Sailors of Loon, obviously you do want to bear in mind the top card of your discard pile, which I'm not helping by putting my Elven Lights on the table, but it's so much more convenient to have them on the table. But you have to bear in mind that if you just discard something thinking, well, I don't need it, so I may as well discard it now, then you have discarded that card forever. In the case of Elven Light, you haven't, but you have to spend the resource to get it back. Whereas Silver Harp, it works every round. So it's better to use the harp than an actual discard, because it will be ready again next round. Okay, there is 5 threat in the staging area, no enemies. Since there is no enemy in the staging area, no attack will be made by this force effect, so I will reveal an extra card from the encounter deck, effectively increasing the size of my staging, but not actually, because I Vilya Gildor's Council at this point. So now, questing 2, 5, 7, 8, 11, 15, 17, 19, 20, and we reveal Caught in the Press. Okay, 1 damage to each questing character you control, or each questing character you control gets -1 willpower until the end of the phase. That should be fine for the damage. Of course, all my questing characters have more than 1 hit point. These two can't take damage. And we're warriors. Okay. Each player deals 1 damage to a hero he controls. If that hero's quest, remove it from the quest. Until the end of the round, damaged characters' text boxes are blank. So I guess once again I'm not getting any use out of Galadriel, but I think I can still cope with it. There are no enemies in play, so... Unfortunately, this does mean that my healers are among the characters with blank text boxes. But never mind. Exhaust Galadriel and Nenya to add another 4 willpower. So 24 against 5. Since I added no additional threat, I make 19 progress. 5 goes here and 14 on the quest. And wait for my computer to catch up. There we go. Right. Yeah, I guess go to the city wall, which reveals an encounter card. An Arnor battlefield. Okay. Still no enemies. So I guess I will exhaust Círdan and Naya to ready these Masters of the Forge and then exhaust them both again. Okay, no attachments in there. And then the second one, I'll take the Elven Mail. Probably not going to play it, but I'm definitely not going to play Vilya, so... Okay, another resource goes on the city wall at the end of the round. I can heal at the end of the round, so I'll heal Elra here. Once again, Elrond's text box is back at this point. And Arwen. Control N. New round. And okay, a feint. That's nice. Extra draw for Círdan over here. Naya. Okay, so let's discard Naya. Now, Mirror. At this point I really do want to start looking for my threat reduction. Because I have basically everything I need. Yeah, let's take the greeting first. Just so I have it. I may not use it immediately, but I want to know that I have it. Okay, so now I still have 2 silver harps available. So let's use a harp for Arwen's ability to add a resource. Let's pull Elven Light back into my hand. Draw a Stargazer. Okay, so to the sea to the sea, discarding 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and I pay 1 for ally Glorfindel, who can be played from the discard pile. And I still have a spare Elven Light. So that's all fine. I can save the Caregiver because I might be able to still use to the sea to make her cheaper. Over here, I'm going to use my Masters of the Forge again. Nothing. And shuffle and Villiers. I guess I may be running out of attachments. Stargazer. Top 5 cards. There is at least one more copy of Villiers in there. And let's just put it like this. So I can potentially use the Evening Star. In fact, just put it like this. And I'm going to Villiers in a Mython Sea Watcher. Starting to run out of ally space. So, okay. I don't think I actually want to play anything. I suppose I could put this Rivendell Blade on the Mython Sea Watcher. Let's do that. Now, there's 5 threat in the staging area again. We can quest for 2, 3, 6, 8, 11, 15, 17, 19, 20, 23. And reveal. Of course, I'm revealing 3 cards because there's 1 for the forced effect and then my normal staging. Orc of Angmar. Orc of Angmar. Hills of Evendune. 7 cards left in the encounter deck. I still haven't seen the Host of Angmar. Okay, 8 threat added. I make 10 progress. So 4 here and 6 here. Exhaust Galadriel for this stack. Okay, definitely okay for threat reduction. And yeah, okay, so this of course is blocking my when revealed, and also by travelling here I shuffle the discard pile back into the encounter deck, once again reducing the chance of me seeing the Host of Angmar. And then I discard until I get an enemy. So so it didn't work. I discarded the Host of Angmar. But okay. Right, so now we will come to the encounter phase. So the Host of Angmar, in Archery 2, immune to player card effects. After it attacks and destroys a character, either remove 2 progress from the main quest or return it to the staging area. Takes 16 to kill. I feel like I can probably actually do that. So I'm going to optionally engage the Host of Angmar. I mean, if nothing else, there are only these 2 other enemies in play, and then not super strong ones. And if I don't engage the Host of Angmar, then next round, because of this forced effect, it will just attack both players. So I may as well take it now, and only have to chump block once, rather than twice per round. Although I suppose, I mean, there's the whole Sailor of Lune trick, but anyway. That means we also get engaged like this. And also, I'm kind of okay with the Host of Angmar coming out like this, because what I was more afraid of, actually I suppose not that big a deal, but I was more afraid that I would end up stuck with the Host of Angmar as I advanced the quest and also had to deal with the boss, though of course since the third stage of the quest doesn't have this forced effect, at that point I could just leave the Host of Angmar in the staging area with its engagement cost of 50. Although, oh no, actually, at this point, the Arnor battlefield, while it's in the staging area, each non-unique enemy gets -5 engagement cost. The Host of Angmar had an engagement cost of 45. My threat is 45. I had no choice unless I wanted to play a greeting, which I could have done. But, again, I think I can deal with the Host right now. So, deal out some shadow cards. We have Archery 4. So let's put a couple of points on Glorfindel. And one on Círdan and one on Eristor, just rounding people out to 2 damage each. Since we have Elrond working for us. Okay. Top card of my discard pile, not an attachment. So that's relevant if I want to use the Wardens of the Havens. Which I probably do. Of course, the Host of Angmar is immune to player card effects, so my Rivendell Blades do not help. The Elven Spear could help. Fair and Perilous could help, and Lords of the Eldar could help. So, yeah, I'm just gonna figure I am doing that. So, Lords of the Eldar goes to the bottom of my deck. And all Noldor +1 everything until the end of the round. And Fair and Perilous. Okay, so I think I definitely want to use it, but there's actually, since it's until the end of the phase, if I used it on Eladan, then that would, of course he can ready himself with that resource, so that could apply +2 to 2 attacks, whereas alternatively I could use it on Elrond, oh sorry, +3 to 2 attacks, because of Lords of the Eldar as well. Whereas if I used it on Elrond, it would be +4 to 1 attack. So I'll see how I'm doing when I get to that point. So let's see. I'm gonna chump the Host of Angmar. You know, I mean, sure, if I discard an attachment, this Warden of the Havens would be up to 4 defense. That's just not enough. 4 defense, 5 hit points, still dies to 9 attack. I could use Naya. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, 5 defense, 5 hit points. Potentially doesn't die to 9 attack. Could use Naya. 6 defense, 5 hit points. It's certainly a possibility. It's probably easier to chump it. I mean, I'm now just wondering about the shadow effects. Because, I mean, I have the progress to remove. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. There's +1 attack or +2 instead if the defender is damaged. But he's not damaged. So I could actually do that. And I think that might be the only potential attack boost of more than 1. Otherwise it's other annoying things. Defender gets -2 defense until the end of the round. That would kill him. So I chump the Host of Angmar just to be safe. This guy can defend. This, or, of course, Elra here. I can just spend resources. I mean, he's 2 attack right now. That might be relevant. So, sure, let's have Elra here defend. He is 5 defense right now. And then let's have him defend this one as well. Nothing. And then let's chump the Host of Angmar. Nothing. So this guy would have been okay, but... well, he would have been very damaged. But okay, and after Host of Angmar attacks and destroys a character, either remove 2 progress from the main quest or return to the staging area. So I removed 2 progress. Now... oh, yeah, I guess I've added defense to these guys. I think it should be okay. So now... let me figure out. It takes 16 to kill the Host of Angmar, and Rivendell Blades don't help. Eladan is currently 4. 7, 10. If I power up Mython Sea Watcher, yeah, I have so much stuff going on for me here that it's potentially going to be just overkill. Don't want to do any healing. Yeah, let's do a bit of healing from Elrond and Círdan. So hang on, yeah. If I discard an ally, then the Mython Sea Watcher will be 4 attack. Not quite enough, but... yeah, okay, so... I'm going to discard this Master of the Forge. I think just to heal. If it turns out that I've calculated it wrong, then I can retcon things, but I think it's fine. I declare a ranged attack with the Mython Sea Watcher, and then I use Naya to ready her. I already stacked this deck, so I guess I'll also ready the Stargazer, and just, why not, set this up. I mean, Elrond's Council is what I wanted to draw anyway, and then I'm going to use the mirror, and I can discard Naya to Círdan, yeah, so that's all fine. Right, so now, the Mython Sea Watcher, +2 for her own ability, also ranged from her own ability, +1 from Lords of the Eldar, +1 from Naya. She's attacking for 5 and ignores 2 points of defense, which means effectively ignoring the 2 points of defense this guy gained for me not removing progress, and 5 is enough to kill him. Now let's look at the Host of Angmar. Attacking for 5, 8, 11, Eladan is 4. So 15, 17. Host of Angmar is dead. Added to the victory display, which removes 10 quest points from the quest card. So I only need 40 instead of 50. And I pay the resource from Eladan to ready him. Did I? Yes, I removed a resource and then exhausted him. Anyway, so this requires 7, but the Rivendell Blade applies again. So effectively 6, 8, and dead. Okay. At the end of the round, I can heal. So I will heal Galadriel and Eladan. And Control N. And of course I discard Naya to Kiran. And okay, so I think we did get a ruling at some point that basically the mirror works as you would kind of expect it to when you have less than 10 cards in your deck. You still take the card and you can still use it and you still have to discard. So I'm just going to take Lords of the Eldar. And yeah, okay. So then let's use these Masters of the Forge. There we go, Last Villiers. And then I don't know if there are any attachments left for me to find, but I'm going to look. And shuffle and Stargaze. Okay, yeah, so there's still an Elven Spear in there as well. I think I just leave. Maybe this. Yeah, okay. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna go straight for it. I play the Evening Star. Place 2 progress on any location. Resolve that effect again for each copy of the Evening Star currently in your discard pile. You may choose different targets. There is currently 1 copy in my discard pile, so I get to resolve the effect twice. So I place 2 progress. While Shores of Lake Nenwell is in the staging area, progress cannot be placed on other locations in the staging area. So I place 2 progress here, and then I place 2 progress here. And then I exhaust Elrond and Villiers, and get the Evening Star again. This time, there are 2 copies of the Evening Star in my discard pile, so I can resolve the effect 3 times. So I place 2 progress here, which explores it, and then I can still place 4 more progress, which I will place here, because now Shores of Lake Nenwell is gone, I can place it on other locations in the staging area. So now the staging area is completely empty, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Over here. Okay. Right, no potential allies to play. Let's just discard Laws of the Eldar. Actually, no, hang on. What I was saying before about efficiency of discards. Use Silver Harp for Arwen's ability. And I guess that's it. In the quest phase, I'll use this Elrond's Council. Drop down to 40 threat. And +1 willpower, so that's 1, 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, 16, 18, 20, 23, 24 against an empty staging area, but I am revealing 3 cards, one for the forced effect and then my regular staging. So, we reveal Caught in the Press. Do I have 2 tests of will in hand? I do. On the other hand, as usual, I can't... Oh, well, no, this would kill my healers, so now is the time to cancel it. Maybe I should have healed them. City Wall. And Arnor Battlefield. Okay, so that's 6 threat in the staging area. So I make 18 progress. And wait for my computer to catch up again. And there we go. 41 progress out of the 40 quest points, because it's -10 for the Host of Angmar being in the victory display. I forgot that some of that progress should have gone here. So, yeah, let's use Galadriel and Nenya. This is a good time for it. So it works out the same. And I advance the quest. You've held back the Host of Angmar, but a dark figure appears to lead the final assault. With a terrifying cry, he orders a battering ram against the gate. The old timbers won't endure for long, so you rally your troops for a desperate counterattack. It's victory or death. When revealed, shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. The first player adds Battering Ram and Lieutenant of Angmar to the staging area. Each other player reveals an encounter card. So, discard pile back into the deck. I don't need most of these. Don't need the other Host of Angmar, and the other unique locations are only for epic multiplayer. Battering Ram. X is 1 more than the number of resources on Battering Ram, immune to player card effects. Forced at the end of the round, place 1 resource on Battering Ram, then deal X damage to Annuminas. Travel, reveal 1 encounter card per player to travel here. And the Lieutenant of Angmar. Immune to player card effects. Cannot take damage unless there is at least 10 progress on the main quest. Forced at the end of the round, he moves to the staging area with the lowest total threat and makes an immediate attack against the first player. And each other player reveals an encounter card. So I reveal another city wall. Okay. Progress cannot be placed here while Battering Ram is in play. Response at the end of the round, raise each player's threat by 1 and reveal an encounter card to choose a non-unique enemy worth no victory points at another stage, discard the chosen enemy. Since that specifies another stage, it does nothing for me, it only applies in epic multiplayer. If Lieutenant of Angmar is in a victory display at the end of the round, the players have routed the enemy and win the game. Okay, so it's very simple. All I need to do is travel to the battering ram, explore the battering ram, and get 10 progress on the main quest, possibly more, just in case I'm forced to remove any, and then kill the lieutenant. Simple, right? Since all I've got in play other than the boss is locations, I'm pretty okay with traveling to the battering ram and revealing 2 more cards. Hills of Evandene and Caught in the Press. Okay, each player must choose either deal 1 damage to each questing character you control, or each questing character you control gets -1 willpower until the end of the phase. We are in the travel phase. No one is questing. So that does nothing. Okay. Engagement cost is 0, so obviously I have to take him on immediately. Can't do any damage. But, you know, it'll be fine. Deal out that shadow card. And I'm going to defend with this guy, who I will then also Naya. Along with, I guess, the Stargazer again. So that shadow card, defender cannot ready this round. Well, I already readied him, so too late. So he, oh yeah, I can discard, let's say, Vilya to heal, let's say, Eristor. I no longer have the free healing at the end of each round. So I do actually no, let's actually heal my healers, since I had that issue with Caught in the Press earlier. So, right. So now his defense is 3, 4, 5. So he takes 1 damage. And that's fine. I cannot deal damage to the lieutenant. I can use the silver harp for more healing. Again, I'm going to heal the healer. And let's also discard Lords of the Eldar and heal Eristor. So no one is 1 hit point away from death. And okay, so yeah, it's at the end of the round. There's 1 enemy in play. I place a resource on the battering ram and deal 1 damage to Annuminas for that. And this guy returns to the staging area and attacks. Oh, I meant to use the Stargazer here. I think I'm going to give up on the mirror at this point. There we go. I want to draw that. Well, I suppose with Kirdan it doesn't make a difference. Okay, so 4 defense. Yeah, that should be fine. Defender cannot ready this round. Okay, he takes 2 damage. But that doesn't actually do anything, because so rulings around things that happen at the end of a phase or the end of a round are a bit weird, but I'm pretty sure essentially it means that they take place in a period that's not considered to be part of any round or phase as applicable. So, defender cannot ready this round, doesn't matter, because it's not in a round. So if I want to ready him this new round using Naya, I can do that. Okay. And actually, hang on. Let me redo my Stargaze here. Because I'm just going to harp the other thing. And oh, right. Well, I guess just in case I need an attack boost. Right. Control N. So I just need to quest hard enough to clear the battering ram and make 10 progress, at least, and then kill the lieutenant. Which, I mean, he's not as tough as a host of Angmar. So, another draw here, and harp. Daron's Runes. Draw 2. And what was... Actually, at this point, I'm going to discard the Feint, because I can't use it on the Lieutenant. I have one in hand already if I want to use it on a different enemy. So, you know, it's fine. Okay, Gildor's Council. That seems like a great idea. Unfortunately, it is to a minimum of 1, so I can't, even if I were to draw the other copy with Galadriel and play it, I couldn't get it down to 0 cards revealed. But, oh no, wait, hang on. This means, okay, it's fine. I'll use my Masters of the Forge after I've Villiard. Or at least I'll use one of them, and the other one might just be a chump for the Lieutenant. So that'll be fine. Over here, I can get an extra resource from Arwen. So I'm up to 8 resources. That's not enough to play both Greetings and Lords of the Eldar. I'm not sure that I need Lords of the Eldar, though. So this may just be fine. And I think I don't play anything. Or actually, I suppose I don't think there's anything that could cause the first deck to raise its threat by 3 in one encounter card, but you know, just to be sure, I can definitely afford 1 greeting. And I'm not playing anything here either. So, quest phase. Gildor's Council. Oh, this Warden of the Havens is exhausted because he defended at the end of the round. So I'm only revealing 1 encounter card. How much does it take to bring down the left hand of Angmar? 13. 2, 5, 8. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty plausible. I shouldn't need Lords of the Eldar, especially since I do have Fair and Perilous available. How much threat is in the staging area? These city walls should have resources on them. I can't cancel when revealed effects. That's a thing. So 3, 6, 9, 13, 17 threat. I'm only revealing 1 additional card. Questing for 2, 3, 6, 8, 11, 15, 18, 20, 22, 3, 24. That's not enough. I might need Lords of the Eldar just for the willpower. I don't need it for the attack, but the willpower... I am going to use my Master of the Forge. Grab that Elven Spear so I can discard it later. And I will send Elrond on the quest. So, okay. 27 against 17. I reveal one card, which is a Warg of Khandoum, which surges into Caught in the Press. So I could take the damage. And, in fact, I have no choice. I can't cancel it. I have the Test of Will, but it's blocked. So... damage. All around. These two can't take damage. Okay, so that's added one threat to the staging area. I need 15 progress. So yeah, it's gonna have to be Lords of the Eldar. So I will not be able to get that final greeting. But, okay. Lords of the Eldar. So, +1 everything to all my characters, because they're all Noldor. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10, 11 additional points of willpower. And so I make 20 progress. 5 goes here. 15 goes here. My computer takes a little while to catch up. I will use Galadriel on this deck. Okay. Whatever. I am not going to travel because I'm ready to just win the quest. I optionally engage the Lieutenant here. The Warg can go here, that's fine. I can remove the 1 progress so I don't have to exhaust anyone. Though I suppose equally I could have discarded a card to ready Glorfindel and then exhausted him. So, deal those shadow cards. And... okay, let's... you know what? I have a feint. Let's feint the Warg of Khandoum. Totally unnecessary, but, you know, whatever. Just chump with the Master of the Forge. And, okay, so I just need to attack for 13 and I win. Everyone is +1. So 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. That's enough attack. I don't even need to add Naya into the mix. So I should just do some healing. So actually, I should... Because of course I was discarding those cards to the Elven Spear, but I should first discard to my Caregiver to heal up my heroes. And this deck can... Actually, yeah, let's pull back both those Elven Lights. Draw 2 more cards. And then discard to the Caregiver. I was just thinking of, my last Elrond's Council in there. Slightly improved score. But never mind. Okay. So, as established, I am attacking for 15. I could make it slightly more with Naya. I could make it 17. I only needed 13. Lieutenant of Angmar is dead. And I've won the quest. So, not a short quest. It's entirely possible that I could have done it a bit quicker if I'd been less cautious, but I feel like being cautious made a lot of sense because there are a lot of ways this quest can screw you over. It was a bit problematic having to deal with that Vanguard of Khan Doom when I didn't really have the attack to kill it, but I mean, you saw I had means of managing the attacks in the short term while I built up until the point where I was ready to just have the big round with Lords of the Eldar and take it out. Nice that Lords of the Eldar then came back in time to be used for the Host of Angmar and then also for the boss. Although, as noted, I don't think I needed it for the boss because you're factoring in Naya. Factoring Naya and Fair and Perilous because I had that available. I didn't need Lords of the Eldar to kill the Lieutenant of Angmar. I needed it to get enough progress that I could damage the Lieutenant of Angmar. That was the important bit. So yeah, Noldor are fun. It's interesting playing around with some of these. Like I've almost never used Wardens of the Havens, but they can be pretty effective when you have the means to make them work, and you kind of realize that you don't need to play everything. You play some important things and keep the rest to discard to fuel your other effects. Or, of course, a deck like this, you discard and pull back and discard and pull back and all sorts. Back to Siege of Annuminas, a lot of fun. It's a pretty consistent quest, which is what I really like about it. It's consistently difficult, but it's pretty consistent. I would really like to do epic multiplayer at some point, though I've never had the chance. I've never had the chance to have to deal with these other ridiculous unique locations. So that's something which, if I can figure it out, I will do it at some point. Host of Angmar, pretty rough. I had a failed attempt, which I might upload as kind of a bonus, because it was sort of interesting to see how long I survived in what looked like a hopeless situation, and as it turned out was a hopeless situation. The reason I'm not sure if I'm uploading it is because I did make some mistakes in play, one of which actually made the game harder, though I'm not sure if correcting that mistake would have allowed me to win in the long run. But what happened there was the Host of Angmar was the enemy that I discarded and thus put into play immediately when I arrived at stage 2. So the worst possible enemy to get at that point. And I kept having other enemies I had to deal with, so it took a while before I could try and engage it, which is why it was a hopeless situation that it's surprising I lasted as long as I did. Anyway, I might upload that or not, but in this case, obviously, it was useful that I didn't get the Host of Angmar for quite a while, possibly, I think, helped by shuffling the discard pile back in with Hills of Evendim, at least the first time. Second time, it then immediately came out, but still reasonable timing. Host of Angmar, also, just going to note, I did mention this when I reviewed the quest after my local fellowship event in 2016. They're not as bad once you arrive at stage 3. Because at stage 3, you can, so long as Annuminas has enough city strength, you can just ignore them at that point, probably. Because they're no longer attacking you from the staging area. Which, that's a big skewing factor in the way you play this. Anyway, as I said, quite a long game. I personally find this quest very satisfying to play, so I've had a lot of fun with this. I hope you also enjoyed it. Obviously this was released during the Dream Chaser cycle, so this completely wraps up Dream Chaser cycle. I'm going to obviously do a wrap-up post as usual, and then move back onto Nightmare for a while. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please consider supporting me on Patreon, and goodbye.